19th century was a huge development of science. And this competition between science and religion, who will influence more society, was on the part of science. So religion, especially Christian religion, Vatican, they they have seen we have to do something to have more influence on the way people are thinking, and definitely this should also be in science. So what they did, they say, okay, we will create a new type of cosmology, because before Big Bang model, thinking of some beginning was just a nonsense. The stationary universe was actually the most logical and reasonable model. Universe did not start. It cannot start. It's a nonsense. Idea that universe started is absolute nonsense. So what they did in Vatican, they say, okay, good. We will create a new type of cosmology that has beginning. Why? Because beginning of the universe implies that was a creator, there was God. There was God making universe. Because the Big Bang model is just an extension of the what is written in the Holy Bible. That the God needs 6 days to create a universe, and in the 7th day he rests. And they say, okay, we will bring this basic idea that the God create universe, we will bring this basic idea into science. In which way? We will say that universe explode out of nothing. And there was a theoretical physicist, Lemaitre, I think he was Belgian, and he was also a priest, Catholic priest, Jesuit. So they talk with him, they say, listen, we have to fix this. And he started this idea about the Big Bang, which is absolute nonsense. And then they got Stephen Hawking, they charged him, they say, listen, Stephen, you have to write something. And he wrote an important article. I mean, in an article in an important journal that is also absolute nonsense, about how there was nothing before there was nothing. And then suddenly there was a big explosion out of nothing, out of mathematical point. I mean, you need really to put some energy to understand this nonsense. There was nothing. There was not even space. The only thing it existed was mathematical point. What a fucking nonsense. And what was before, nobody knows. This is now a magic. And then this mathematical point that had infinite pressure, temperature, and density exploded. This is how Big Bang started. And they are teaching this absolute nonsense now for 80 years at universities worldwide. It is time we stop this nonsense. Because mathematical point is dimensionless. This we know it from mathematics. Mathematical point has no dimension. And something that has no dimension cannot have physical attributes, cannot have pressure, cannot have density, temperature. Okay. And they say that at the first beginning, temperature, pressure, density was infinite. Infinite can never turn into finite. If there would be infinite density, Infinite density cannot be reduced into finite density. These are the basic rules, not only of physics, actually of mathematics. Because a cardinal number of, let's say, natural numbers can never become something finite, some finite number. So the singularities has to be abolished in physics. There is no any kind of singularity. And this idea of Professor Penrose that in the center of the black hole there is infinite singularity is also wrong. In the center of the black hole, energy density of space is so low that atoms become unstable. They fall apart into elementary particles. That's why in the black hole the pressure is increasing, because the matter is transforming into energy in the form of elementary particles. And if the black hole is not too big, it will explode in the supernova. But if the black hole is too big, the pressure will be so big of this fresh energy inside that it will create a pressure in the directions of rotation. And when this happens, then this continuous transformation of matter into fresh energy start creating these huge jets that are thrown out into the intergalactic space. So supermassive black holes in the center of galaxies are rejuvenating systems of the universe. Universe never started. Universe will never finish. Universe is eternal. And this eternity is now. The only time that exists in the universe is now. In mathematical terms, this is defined and expressed and mathematically described as time invariant space. Universal space is time invariant. There is no past, there is no present even, and there is no future. Universal space is utterly timeless. And we are living in this timeless space, and the only universe that exists is this universe which is in now, the universe we can observe. So all this nonsense about initial explosion and symmetry between matter and antimatter, this is just an absolute bullshit. And recombination period, it's all nonsense. And the expanding of the universe, this is also absolute nonsense. Never ever, nobody developed a mathematical model that would describe how it happened with the Doppler effect in an expanding space. Okay, there is no cosmological redshift. This is absolute bullshit. There is only gravitational redshift. The light that is coming from distant galaxies has an energy loss, because when photon is pulling out of the strong energy field, gravitational field of the galaxy is losing some energy. That's why we have a redshift. Okay. This was also proved experimentally, that light, when it's pulling out of the gravitational field of the Earth, is losing some energy and is getting, and this is a kind of redshift. And when the light is moving in the direction of gravity, we call this blue shift. Is getting some energy. So things are clear, and there is absolutely no one direct proof, experimental proof of the Big Bang. All so-called proofs of the Big Bang are misinterpretation of astronomical data. And it is a shame. It is a shame that we teach this religious nonsense in the 21st century that we teach at universities, this absolute nonsense of Big Bang. I hope this video will help to open the eyes to people that we have so many nonsense on this planet, and we have to drop this nonsense one after other. And the Big Bang is the first nonsense that we have to drop. Maybe I was a bit hard and harsh, but with a good intention. You have to wake up. And this cyclic conformal cosmology of Roger Penrose, this is also absolute nonsense, because the Big Bang is a nonsense, and cyclic conformal cosmology, that this now universe will expand forever and then again Big Bang will happen, explosion out of nothing. This is just a multiplication of nonsense of Big Bang. Roger Penrose has multiplied the nonsense of Big Bang with CCC. Universe is eternal, and eternity is now. Yeah, and this now is the very being of you, who you really are. So step out of your psychological time, step out of your mind, and what remains is you, is eternity itself. This is you. This is consciousness, this is being. Consciousness is the substratum of the entire universe. Everything exists in consciousness. And there is something beyond it.